What is up, guys? Welcome back to Mixtape Talks. Today is a very, very, very special. Hold on. Special episode, you guys. We've been working on something for a while, and I would say, how long we had this podcast for, Ethan?
I want to say we're coming up on a year.
We're coming up on a year, and it's been amazing. It's been an amazing year. A lot of growth, a lot of learning, a lot of things that didn't work and things that did work. But this is probably like a milestone for us here at Mixtape Talks. We are official sponsored by Reign Energy Drink. And as you can see here, and as you can see on the table, they are now helping us fund our project. They're going to be a part of the journey with us for the remainder of, as long as we do this. We have a pretty solid partnership with them, and this is something that is a big milestone for both of us. Because
100%.
You've been with me since I came to you with the idea.
Yeah, since day one, since we just met outside, and we're like, okay, what equipment do we need? We don't know where it's going. We just want to get together and do this, and it was just something that we did on Fridays to. Now all the guests that we've met, all the events that we've been to.
It's been crazy, right? Yeah. I remember even talking to you and you're like, dude, I really believe in this. Like we did it first, you guys, like honestly, not as a joke, but just to get content out there because we know so many people. And then the more we did it and the more support we got from you guys and the more people that want to be on the podcast, it kind of just grew. It just grew that way, grew organically. You know, and I think you were a big advocate for saying we got to be consistent. We got to shoot a podcast. Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of this is to you. You know what I mean? Hey, cheers on our first big time sponsorship. Yeah. As you can see, it's just me and Ethan today. If you guys don't know Ethan is the man that's been putting all these podcasts together. He's the guy behind the camera that does all the lighting, the filming, the editing, the clips, the YouTube. And so for me, now that we have this sponsorship, I want him to be more part of the podcast. I want him to be another host, so to speak, and I want him to come out here because I feel like he has his own journey that he's been through. He has his own stories that he can tell, and I feel like it was a waste to have him behind the camera all the time. So you'll be seeing a lot more Ethan, so shout out to Ethan.
Hey,
if you guys need work, please hit him up, but don't take my times. With this sponsorship, you guys, it's enabled us to do a lot of things. If you follow me on Instagram or you follow any of the other hosts on Instagram, we've been going out a lot.
Yeah.
One of the events we just currently went to, and I kind of want to recap on because we've gotten so many questions, was a dark sport event. And that was a great time, you guys. So if you guys aren't familiar with Dark Sport, it's a fitness clothing brand. I guess I would call them fitness clothing brand, right? They're a fitness clothing brand, and they went from making just regular screen print shirts that said Dark Sport to now they have a drop every week, it seems like.
It's ridiculous. I swear I'm scrolling and I see like a new design. They're like, oh, dropping this week. I'm like, I thought you guys just like...
They just dropped it.
They just dropped it like...
I honestly don't even know how the owner, Michael, does it. I don't know what his thought process is. I would love to know what his thought process is, how he goes through every single drop, and everything's always original. It's never the same. So anyways, he had a huge event, Coachella weekend, and it was like an invite only access. Luckily for us, I know some of the athletes, and they kind of got us a little bit of extra tickets because I think they were only giving out like 4, and there was like 10 of us that went. So we had a great time, you know, but we didn't know what to expect. And it's funny because it's a fitness type event is what they were calling it, but it was Coachella weekend. So all of us were like messaging each other, like, what are we going to wear? Like, did we go festival vibes? Did we go in dark sport? So I was kind of surprised when I got there. I thought it would be more festival vibe. That's what I dressed up as. And everyone was just straight repping dark sport, like sports bras, shorts, shirts, whatever dark sport stuff they had. Like that's what the attire was.
Yeah, I think everyone was wearing black except for
everybody was straight black. And in my defense, I do own dark sport clothing, but it's only hoodies and jackets, and it was 87 degrees in Coachella, so there's no way I was going to wear either of those. So of course, you know, we had to put together fits. But what did you think of it?
I thought it was really cool for the first event like that. Them throwing, it turned out amazing. The music was good. I mean, the food was good. Drinks were bomb. I think the whole, event was awesome. I wish it went longer, honestly. Like, I wish it started later and kind of went into the night because it got really hot there for a second.
Right.
And I remember we were all under the umbrella at one point. Like,
fuck, it's hot.
Yeah, fuck, it's hot.
I mean, for me, it was like I put on events for the gym, and I've been a part of like some pretty big events that we've done with Power 106, and we've had a lot of vendors in there. And I couldn't imagine, first off, the amount of money that went into this event. When I tell you guys everything was free, every single thing was free. You walk in there, drinks were free, alcohol was free, food. And I'm not talking about just like chicken and rice. They did have that, which was smart because that caters to their demographic. But then you could get tacos, you can get pizza, you can get desserts. It was literally, you can walk around and just grab anything you wanted. They had sour stripes, they had margarita machines, they had these dope pillows that you could
carnival games
that you could win, but literally everybody won. So they were just giving out things. And it's very rare that you see a company that is so willing to just give back. And that's one thing that stood out to me originally when I walked in there. I was like, wow, for him to really bless all these people that were going to buy the clothes regardless. Like this event didn't really, I don't think it did anything for people to be like, now I'm going to buy a shirt, because I feel like if you already bought from them, you went to this event.
Yeah.
And for him just to be like, I'm going to pay, they had Austin Mills there. They had DJs that I know they probably had to pay a lot of money to just to be there, you know, for just to have that event pop off the way it did, you know.
That were playing Coachella and this event.
Austin Mills, we had a chance to talk to him. He was playing Coachella right after he did the Dark Sport event. So it wasn't like he got like just some DJs off the street. I think it someone in his family, like a cousin or a friend, Isaac, was also DJing. You know, he's up and coming DJ, but it wasn't like just an event for you guys just to come and walk around. They had all the athletes there. They had the owner, Michael, his brother Andrew were there. Props to them too, because they were walking around giving out shots to people. You can tell that they were really happy with the way that turned out, and they were really excited to meet a lot of the people that are buying their clothing. You know, so that's one of the things that stood out to me. You were more everywhere around the event because you were filming it. Is there anything that kind of stood out to you?
I mean, kind of like what you were saying, how they were, you know, walking around talking to everyone. I think it's very rare that you see that, especially in the fitness community with the bigger brands. A lot of times you see the owners, you know, like Bradley Martin in the opening. He's so secluded with the verified checkmark people, not really going around talking to everyone. And to see, at least from my end, people that I look up to on Instagram be like, oh man, like they're huge on Instagram. There they are. Like how open they are, just like walking up to you, dapping you up, saying, hey, you know, like being willing to talk to you and not look like they're in a rush, like actually be genuinely engaged in the conversation. That was huge. And not something that I see very often, you know, going to big events like this.
Yeah, no, I think you hit that on the head. If you compare it, and I don't know if you can compare it to like Bradley Martin's grand opening, where he was kicking people out of the gym that weren't, I don't know, what do you call them, influencers, quote unquote. I don't even know how you prove you're an influencer, but he was kicking people out. And from what I've heard from people that went, that like if they were influencers there, they didn't really want to talk to people that were quote unquote not influencers or at their level, because they were shooting their content. They were trying to mingle with people, you know, that were also influencers. And I kind of did think maybe that may have been the case at Dark Sport, but when I got there, I was like, wow. I mean, some of these guys are Olympians. Some of these guys have almost 1 million followers, and they were there like taking shots with people, taking pictures. I saw his IG handle is Lucky Libra. I saw him walking around taking shots with people, taking pictures with everybody. Old Boy, which is a big part of the company, he was there talking to people for like 20 minutes. And it wasn't like a rush conversation, because, you know, I'm very observant of stuff like that. And, you know, we got to see our boy Jonas, we got to see Crystal, and they're there having a good time mingling. And I think, I don't know if Michael talked to the athletes, or I would love to see what he says to them that makes them so humble at events like this. Like, it's not like, hey, there's a line to go take a picture with your favorite Dark Sport athlete. It's more like, hey, just mingle with the crowd.
I think it has more so to do with, because Jonas talked about this, the culture that Dark Sport themselves create just naturally attracts people like that, where they don't have to have that conversation. It's just like, we know that our people are humble in their day-to-day lives, and they're not going to act holier than thou or I'm better than you. It's, they recognize that they're around people that, you know, support them, whether they be another athlete or just fans from Instagram that are there. You know, they're all on the same level. No one's better than anyone else.
Yeah. And I definitely felt that. I definitely felt that walking around the event. Yeah, it was cool to have some people come up to us. Yeah. People were like, hey, I'm fans of the podcast. And I was like, holy shit. Like, they're like, we knew you guys were going to be here. Originally, you guys, we planned on going there and shooting a bunch of content and doing interviews. Like, our plan, the whole ride there, right? We're in the car and we're like, we're gonna shoot interviews. We're gonna do, okay, let's try to interview the owner. Let's interview this. And then we started drinking in the car. right? And then they were passing a bottle around. And then if you follow my stories, we stopped at the liquor store to get a bottle. Yeah. And then by the time we got into the event, I think the energy was just so, there was just so much energy in there that it was like, we were like kids in candy stores, right? Mm-hmm. We're like, oh, damn, there's a carnival section. Oh, damn, that's like one of your favorite athletes. Oh, there's the owner. Oh, shit, they got a whole stage with a DJ playing. So we kind of like all separated. And then by the time we all came back together, because it was free alcohol, we were all drunk.
And I think it was that and a mix of just, we had no idea what to expect.
Right.
So when we showed up, it was like, oh, holy shit, this is like legit an event, not just, you know, something that people are calling like, hey, we're throwing a Coachella type event. It was, no, this is a legitimate Coachella type event.
Oh, yeah.
And so we were all just blown away. And when we got there, it was like, oh my God, scatter.
Yeah. we literally, I turned around and I was like, where the fuck is everyone? It was just me and my wife. Like, where's everyone at? There, she's like, I don't know. They're out there. It's like, all right, let's go mingle. But it was, everything you can think of was done perfectly. And like you said, if I had any, I guess, complaints, it would be that I wish it went longer. Mm-hmm. It would have been way better if it started a little bit later and then it went on longer, because it ended at 6, started at 12, ended at 6. But like the sun's still up because, you know, it's like summertime. Well, like summertime vibes, the sun stays out longer. And we were all like, what do we do next? So we actually ended up going out to Pescador after. But
I know, leaving, we're like, should we go to Coachella? Should we?
Yeah, we were debating, man. God, I wish we would have. But I did get a lot of questions, you guys, and I kind of want to I don't want to say clear things up on it, because I think a lot of people had the same perspective that I originally had going into the Dark Sport event, that it was going to be kind of like a pretentious event where they're just kind of standing off and it's like a meet and greet table, or you know, you and I even had private conversations, you know, in the car, like, what do you think it's going to be like? What would you say it's going to rate it, you know, and stuff like that. And we were both blown away by how much attention to detail they put into it.
Yeah, I think we were both wrong.
We were both wrong. Yeah. Because I thought, I've heard it. I first heard rumblings of the event, I want to say maybe like 4 weeks before the event happened. Mm-hmm. Obviously they were planning before, but I'm like, there's no way they could put this together in that short a time. During Coachella weekend, you know, you're trying to take people away from Coachella to come to your event. I'm like, there's not going to be a lot of people there. I don't know what DJs they're going to have there. They say it's free food, but what is it going to be? Like just like chicken and rice type stuff and free alcohol. But yeah, I bet you they're going to be like real light-handed on the alcohol. Mm-hmm. None of that was true. Yeah. I mean, those bartenders were like, what did you want? You want more alcohol? All right, cool.
Especially when they saw us pull the cameras out, they're like, oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. As soon as they got the cameras out, man, hey, a little cheat code anywhere you go, carry a camera around, make yourself seem important. Yeah. And people will pour a little heavier for you. So you guys did ask a lot of questions, and we're going to get to a couple of them, some of them that I think are relevant to the event. So first one was everything free. Yes, everything was free. Like I said before, food was free, drinks was free, parking was free. It was valet parking, by the way. Yeah. The only thing that you had to pay for was merch if you wanted to. They had like exclusive merch, which sold out in freaking 20 minutes.
By the time we got there, and we got there somewhat early, they were already, like the line was so long, they looked like they were already halfway sold out.
Dude, it was sold out.
Yeah.
Do athletes look the same in person as they do on IG, or is it all photoshopped?
They look exactly like they look on IG.
To me, they look bigger.
Yeah. I was standing next to some of these guys. I was like, his muscles have muscles. I was like, holy shit.
I can tell you this from me visually being there was zero Photoshop in these people's pictures. I mean, the girls, we already saw Crystal. Crystal has a phenomenal physique. Yeah. And then she's there with other Olympians. And I'm like, holy cow, I'm not wearing shorts to this event, because their legs and everything were just, they're crazy. So I can tell you guys this from my own personal experience, meeting a lot of the athletes. They're exactly as they are on Instagram, looks wise.
Just from having Jonas on, I was like, oh no, these guys are for real.
Yeah, I mean, and Jonas just turned pro. So some of these guys, like I always refer back to Lucky Libra, because I think he's him and Brandon Hendricks are probably like the two of them that I follow the most. And they were on the Olympia stage, and he looks just as big and ripped as he did on the Olympia stage. Did you fanboy or fangirl on anyone there?
See, that's interesting, because I'm fairly new to the, I guess, you know,
like fitness space type.
I mean, I've been working in it content wise, and, you know, shooting in it and creating my own content. But as far as knowing a lot of the big influencers, I'm still fairly new. So aside from the people that we've had on here and met, I really didn't know who people were. Aside from, Michael, Isaac, Jonas, Crystal, the people that we've met.
Yeah.
But I could tell who they were by, who was going up to them. And,
right. Yeah. Because there was like a little, some of the bigger name athletes, I guess you can call them, there was more people kind of around them.
Yeah.
Like you could be like, oh, who is that? Because there's like 20 people around them. For me, I didn't really fanboy or fangirl out on anybody that was there. There was really no one there that I really was like, I have to meet this person. And I guess maybe I'm the opposite because I've been in the fitness industry so long, and I've seen Ebanks, like he's Mr. Olympia. I've seen Jeremy Buendia, he's 4-time Mr. Olympia. So there's not a lot of people that I've seen that I'm like, I need to see them in person. I think of anybody that I really, really want to go to, and this is kind of another question, was like, who did you most want to see when you were there? And for me, it was the owner, Michael, and his brother, Andrew. So I would say, like, for me, if I fanboy or fangirl out, it was meeting the owner, Michael, and his brother, Andrew. And it had nothing to do with really the dark sport as a business. It's more of the way they run that business that I'm more intrigued with, like the community they built, his thought process behind having a drop every single week, like how he scaled. And if you guys aren't familiar with dark sport, you may have heard of Civil Regime, which is like, I feel like their original clothing brand they started with, and then they kind of ventured off into dark sport. They have a great story. I would love to have them on the podcast one day and just kind of explain how that transition happened. And I know there's a bigger team involved with what they do, but like for me, the two faces that I know is Michael and Andrew. And I was more in awe on how humble he was.
Yeah.
Like, really, like, he wasn't giving like the half-ass, like, let me give you a half hug, let me kind of give you a couple words, and then I'm gonna be on. Like, he was with some people, I'm telling you guys, for like 30 minutes. Like, they weren't Instagram people, it was just like regular people. I seen people go up to him and they were like, man, like, my life had changed ever since I started like really living like the never fucking give up attitude. And they were just telling them their life stories about addictions they were going through and how like his brand helped them overcome that. And I'm like, that's so powerful. That's so powerful. 100%. So for me, I wanted to meet him more as like the business side. Like, how do you scale something like this? How do you continuously stay fresh? How do you feel? Like, I want to know, like, how do you feel from being like Civil Regime to now, like, I feel like dark sport maybe even a little bigger than Civil 100%. Regime. So I would say the highlight for me was meeting him. And one of the coolest things is when I met him and I went up to him, he was like, yeah, I know who you are.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, you really don't know who's watching on Instagram? You know what I mean? It's not like I follow him, obviously. But to hear him be like, oh yeah, you own the gyms, right? You have the podcast. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I know exactly who you are, bro. Take a shot with me. And I was like,
it's that type of attitude that, like, I actually took the time. I know who you are. You're not just, I'm not just saying, oh, I know who you are.
Yeah.
I actually know who you are. Took the time to, see what you do. I generally like what you do. Let's hang out, spend some time together. Let's talk, not in a rush.
Yeah.
Just good vibes all around.
Yeah, he definitely didn't give me that vibe. I mean, I guess I did fanboy a little bit because we were so chilling, and then I knew there was a line of people and I didn't want to be like greedy to take up his time because I feel like that wasn't the place or the time to be asking like deep questions. Like, you could tell he was a little lit, I was lit, there was everyone there having a good time. So I didn't want to be the buzzkill, like, how do you feel, what's the hardest thing about success, or something like that. So for me, I kind of just like dapped him up. We were just cool. We kind of said what's up to each other. He's like, we'll link up later. And then his brother Andrew, we were sitting there and I kind of said what's up to him. He came up to me. He's like said the same thing, like, hey, I know who you guys are. I know the gyms. We exchanged numbers, which was really dope. And it's one of those things that I always tell people, like, on Instagram, it doesn't matter how many followers you have or what you're doing on there. There's always somebody watching.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not hitting the like button or maybe not hitting the follow button, but if you put enough content out there, it's going to hit the algorithm and your thing may pop up and someone's going to see. Because there was a lot of people there that I didn't know even knew of me, like, from the area, from like the West Covina area. A couple people came up to me and they took pictures. They're like, yeah, I see you on Instagram.
Yeah.
And we just started following each other there, so it's like they must have seen something. But yeah, for me, I would say like the highlight was definitely meeting Michael and his brother Andrew. Cool ass dudes. I would love to have them on sometime and just kind of talk about the evolution of their thought process, and from civil to dark sport, and kind of how that went.
I will say, when I did see Michael walking around, there was like a little fanboy part of me. I was like, oh shit,
Yeah, I mean, the dude always looks fresh as fuck. He's always like super, like he has his like glasses on all the time. Like every picture has his glasses on. You know, he's a well groomed dude. You know, good looking dude. Yeah. All homo. You know, no, you know, and he carries himself. Him and his brother, they carry themselves like you can tell. Like okay, they're important. If that makes sense. You know, like they have an aura around them that they constantly have.
Important but approachable.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, there wasn't one time. There were some of the athletes that were there that I was kind of like, I don't want to go out to them because they probably get it a lot. But with like Michael and his brother, like eye contact wise, they would come up to other people and be like, hey, I saw you want to take a picture with me. Let's take one. So
yeah, when we met Andrew, I had no idea that was, you know, his brother, and that because the conversation was just so natural and it flowed so well. I thought he was just another, fan of the podcast. I was like, I'm saying, hey, but I had no idea that was him until afterwards when you were telling me who that was. I was like, oh, what?
Yeah, that was a dope moment for him to be like, yeah, I know exactly who you are, bro. I've seen the gyms, like, even talking about maybe doing some future work together, which I would love to do, you know. And again, besides having him on the podcast, like outside of that, you know, I do own 2 gyms and they do have a clothing brand, so you know, maybe we could connect.
Yeah, I was wearing the Dark Sport merch that day. Yeah,
I felt so bad because I wasn't wearing Dark Sport. So like, if they do for some reason watch this recap of their event, it's only because I have jackets and hoodies, you guys, or else I would have been completely Dark Sport out.
From our kitchen to yours, this episode is brought to you by Meals by Mel. Enjoy healthy, delicious meals right to your door every day. Use promo code MIX15 at checkout for 15% off your first order. Serving LA, Inland Empire, and Orange County areas. Order today.
Another question, and this one I would say you could probably answer better because I've never been to Coachella. Was the event better than Coachella, or did it rival Coachella?
See, I've never been to Coachella either.
Oh, you've never been? I thought you've been to Coachella.
I've never been to Coachella.
Okay.
But I can only answer based off the videos I saw of Coachella.
Yeah.
I don't think it was, you know, of the same scale because, I mean, you're talking, you know, multiple different stages, multiples of millions of dollars poured into getting, you know, all these artists. So I think the two aren't, you know, you can't really compare it. It's not really fair to compare the two. But I do think, based off how this first event was, and they were saying they're going to throw it again, I do think given some time, it can get to a point where it's, are you going to Coachella or are you going to the Dark Sport event?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I didn't want to like break any news because, you know, we were kind of talking about the next one. No, Michael already announced it. But there was details that his brother told me that they're going to do for the next one. And I'm telling you, these guys aren't thinking like, oh, let's throw a similar event. They're thinking, let's throw this even bigger next year. So I'm super excited, and hopefully we get the invite again to be able to go to the next one to see how they improve on that. Because I mean, some of the ideas he was coming up with, I was like, oh my God, where are you going to fit all this stuff at? You know, and I like it because they think so big.
Yeah.
They don't think like, oh, maybe we'll get another DJ. Maybe we'll add another little bar. He was like, no, I want to do this, the next one. I was like, how the hell do you even
and I think,
have time for the stuff like this, you know?
Yeah, I think that right there plays a huge part into what, you know, how they've done what they've done with Dark Sport and growing that community and culture. Because, you know, I feel like a lot of times with brands, building a community and culture is difficult for a lot of brands, it seems like. But with Dark Sport, and we've had this conversation multiple times here, it seemed like one of those things where it was like, oh, this not small brand, but you know, you got some athletes wearing it to what seemed like overnight everyone in a gym wearing it.
Yeah, you go to any local gym, you see, I would say just 10 people off the bat that have Dark Sport on. Yeah, it's crazy how they took over, but they do a great job with that. And so for me, what would you rate it 1 to 10?
I'd give it a solid 8.5.
Solid 8.5.
Solid 8.5. I wish more people were, you know, willing to be in the state, be in front of the stage and dance and hang out. Cause I don't want to say this as like a complaint. Cause because it wasn't a complaint. It was a great event. My only thing was, you know, when it comes to festivals for me, it's about putting your phone away and enjoying the music and enjoying the vibe and enjoying the people there and just having a good time with your friends. Whereas I feel like a lot of people here, and not necessarily that it's a bad thing, because at the same time, social media is everything, but there was a lot of, phone out, on Instagram, taking pictures, all that. And I think for me, it was, man, I wish, there's a crowd of people on the stage. We were all dancing. Because for a minute there was
no one dancing.
There was no one dancing.
Yeah, there was no one dancing. And they had dope DJs. And
yeah.
The thing, not to defend that, but the thing with that is, it's very rare if you're in a fitness space. Like I've been involved in fitness my whole life basically, and the only time you see that caliber athlete or that caliber person is if you go to Olympia, all in one place.
Yeah,
right. So it's very rare that somebody has the money to go to Vegas or Florida for an Olympia to see those people. So that was like maybe one rare occasion where that fan got to see every single one of their favorite athletes in one spot.
Yeah, I think that's me just not coming from, being huge in the fitness space right now. Because, I said hi to the people that we knew.
Yeah.
And then after that,
you're like, who's what?
Yeah. After that, for me, it was like, oh shit, they're DJing.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
No, and I did talk to Andrew about that, and I think they're gonna switch some things around to do that. But it kind of went to your original point. As the night went on and it got cooler, more people were at that stage.
That is true. That is true.
As it got cooler, because where the stage was, I've never been to Coachella, but I don't know if it's covered or not, but it was pretty hot. The sun was blaring out there. So as the day got, or as the sun went down and it got a little bit cooler, it was like a little breeze, everybody started dancing more. And I think also people got their nerves out. People got to see who they wanted to see. People got to talk to their favorite athlete. And then it was like, okay, now it's time to enjoy it. Where I think like next year, they'll probably do something, maybe set up a little bit different. Because I feel like no matter what event you go to, even if it's like a wedding, people are going to congregate around the bar.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. Like anywhere you go.
And that bar was packed.
That bar was packed. Everyone wanted to be by the bar, but also it was covered. Had a little canopy over it. So, I mean, there's things that they'll definitely work on. For me, I'm kind of with you. I'd give it like an 8.5, 8.5. And there's really nothing bad I can say on it. It was just, I wish it went longer. Maybe have a little shade or cover around the dance area, which I don't know what that would even cost, but maybe have it a little bit later. You know what I mean? Other than that, like even the biggest concern, like I always have when I go to events is like, what's the bathroom situation like? Like, is it super crowded? Is it not? And I can tell you what, I mean, this is maybe not a big deal to you guys, but that bathroom situation for the ladies that are listening was flawless.
Yeah.
They had enough restrooms. They had enough water to go around. They had enough everything to go around.
And I think the bathroom situation might seem small, but I think it also speaks to the people that went there, because they're not, just making a mess of everything that, is there. They're, respectful of the environment and knowing that other people are going to use the bathrooms as well. So they're not, throwing shit all over the place.
Was that not the cleanest bathroom
you
ever
was one
went
of
to?
the, for a festival, it was the cleanest bathroom I'd ever been to.
That was like the cleanest bathrooms, and they didn't have people in there cleaning them after. Like it was, like you said, it was everyone going in after each other, like wiping stuff down, cleaning it. Because it was a pretty intimate event. But I think, yeah, you're right. That culture they kind of built, was kind of like, hey, we all take care of each other. We all take care of everything here.
Yeah. It's like, we might be lit, we might be a little fucked up, but we're not gonna, be slobs and leave a mess all over the place.
Yeah. No, you're right on that.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that, but it was a solid bathroom, Michael. That porta potty was the nicest porta. I didn't even know they had a porta potty.
10 out of 10.
I changed my score. I'm gonna go 8.7 because that bathroom situation was solid. Other than that, I'm just super excited to go to the next one. We were also fortunate enough to have DJ Angie on, and she got us a couple tables to her event that we just literally came back from.
Yep.
And hers is a You're Not Down event, and this is more for like the locals that love, like Pomona, SGV area that love DJ Angie. She had her opening season, so the event she does it once a month for the entire summer. I believe it goes a little bit later than summer, but the one we went to was like the kickoff event for all the future events that are coming. And for me, that event was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy in a good way. Like, first of all, the amount of love that Angie gets is ridiculous.
Yeah. So this one, I think I walked into, really expecting, not really with any idea in mind.
Yeah.
I feel like even more so than the Dark Sport event, because with this one, I feel like I'm from such a different and younger generation.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you're a young cat.
Yeah, to the point where it was like, I have no idea what 90% of these songs are, who, any of these artists are, but I'm just going because, I know it's going to be cool. I don't know what to expect, but I know we're going to have a good time. And again, my expectations were blown out of the water.
Yeah.
Like, the crowd was insane. The energy was high. The vibes were good. Everyone looked like they were having a great time.
Everyone was high as fuck too. People were smoking. There was alcohol there. Yeah, for me, I've only seen it on Instagram, like pictures that they post. And now she had it at a new event, the Derby Room, which is a little bit bigger. And man, the vibes there were crazy. And I know we always go back to vibes and stuff like that, but when you walk into places, you kind of get energy off of everyone else's energy there.
Yeah.
Right. And it was like, I would say the demographic was from people in their late 20s to even some people in their 50s, right? Would you say 50s, right? And everybody was dancing with each other. What I love about Angie is very similar to what I love about Michael and how he runs things. Is he has a core set of people, like his family, his friends, and she rocks with those people. Like, if you looked up on stage, it was friends, family. She had Ann up there dancing. I think she had her dad there. She had everybody there.
One of our very own was up there.
Yeah, one of our Amaris was up there doing her thing. I'll let her share her stories on the next podcast. But that event, that one did exceed my expectations, because again, I'm older than you, but some of that music was like my mom's time, like a little bit older, but it kind of was nostalgic because I remember my mom listening to a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But to look in the crowd, right? And this is like a crowd of people from different age groups. There was no fights. There was no animosity. There was nobody bumping into each other with kind of like that machismo attitude.
Yeah.
Everybody was like looking out for each other. People were passing drinks around. People were on there live because they wanted to show if you could get out, because her event was sold out. You guys, just like the dark sport thing, like this thing, like she announced it one day and it was sold out the next day. So for me, I was very happy for her, because you can see the excitement that she had going to a newer, bigger venue. But also, I think it was like her moment where she was on stage and she saw like, man, I did this.
Yeah.
Like, I built this. And you could see it on her face.
Oh, just from our perspective, watching it happen, I was like, that's sick as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, like, I got chills. I still kind of get chills off of that, off of her being so proud of like what she created. Like, and again, if you guys don't know DJ Angie, I highly suggest you go back, and we have a couple interviews with her. The most humble person you'll ever meet in your life. I call her the people's champ, because she literally is the people's champ. After she did the event and she DJ'd her set, she walked around with a bottle with one security guard. And I'm telling you, people were swarming her, one security guard. And she walked around and she took pictures with everybody's aunt and uncle. Everybody. She was doing, like, people were on live. She was doing lives with them. She was giving them giving them free alcohol. Like she didn't have to do that. She's such a big name, and the event, everyone was already happy, but she's like, no, I want to thank every single person. She even came up to us. I'm like, Angie, go do your thing, go mingle. And then she would go from the audience to the stage, and it's like, making more work for herself. But you can tell, like, she was like very appreciative of everybody that came out for that event.
And I think that's the biggest thing, like, and similarity wise between the two events and, Michael and Angie is, yes, they have their core group, but at the same time, they have the ability to make you feel like you're a part of their core group.
Yeah.
And that, just like you said, the vibes and the energy, it's, I know it's made fun of, but at the same time, it's huge. Because if we're going to an event and the vibes aren't there, it's like, oh shit, like everyone feels like they're on edge.
Right.
We're not going to have that great of a time. But pulling up, everyone was, laughing, drinking, dancing. It's like, oh wow, like I feel like I really do feel like I'm at family's backyard boogie or like something like that. Like,
but it's funny you say that, because even like when I pulled into the Derby Room and I was paying for my parking, the guy goes, "You're not down, huh?" And I go, "What?" And I didn't put it together, but even he was having a good time. Like, "Oh yeah, you're here for the You're Not Down event," like joking around. I'm like, "Yeah," but yeah, I think you kind of like you coined it the best. I felt like I was a part of their group, meaning either Dark Sport or Angie's group. Like I probably known Angie for maybe a year, but a little bit closer probably this past year. But she makes you, and the people around her make you feel like you've known her your whole life. Yeah. Like she treats you exactly the same. And even with the Dark Sport, like, we're outsiders looking in. And then all of a sudden we have the owners coming up to us, and, we're able to chop it up with them. You have the athletes that are super friendly. So you kind of felt like, yeah, I'm a part of the Wolfpack or the Dark Sport event, and then you go to Angie's, you're like, okay, I'm a part of this backyard boogie. Like, I'm invited to the barbecue. So, yeah, we've been very fortunate to have been invited to two really, really special events. Both of them equally awesome.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you guys miss You're Not Down, she has it every single month on a Sunday. And I feel like, you know, my wife, I've been trying to take her more to these events because she's like you, like she doesn't know who anyone in fitness is. If you guys follow me, she was calling it death sport. She's like, oh, we're going to like, my wife was on the phone with like her sister, like, hey, we're going to a death sport event. Like, and they're like, what is it? She goes, it's kind of like Coachella, but like with all fitness buff people. And so, you know, I wanted to bring her because I want her to kind of experience some of the event, but I also would love her take on it because she's not involved with the fitness industry. And she was like, man, first of all, she was amazed by the physiques, guys and girls. It was crazy. But she was also like, I thought there'd be a lot more like animosity or like I go back to that machismo there because all these guys are these big old guys and the girls are, you know, perfect bodies. And she was like, everybody was so friendly. Like it was amazing. And then even at Angie's, you know, she was like, what do I even expect? I said, I have no idea. And we had a sitter bail on us. So I had my mom watch her, and her and I are like, listen, let's go for like 2 hours max, you know, make a presence, then go. Bro, we stayed till it closed because my wife was just having so much fun. And that goes back to what you said about the culture of both events. Like Angie's has been doing this for a while. So it's already like a built-in culture. Like people know you're going to go to You're Not Down. You're going to eat some bomb food. You're going to probably see a lot of people that you either know from the neighborhood or whatever. There's going to be good music, and you know Angie's going to bring the vibes.
Yeah, 100%.
So we walked in there just absorbing it all.
And speaking of the food, I don't know if you guys had a chance to have the tacos, but oh my God. Those are some of the best tacos I have ever had.
Shout out to that's Angie's
Shout out to
too.
DJ Angie.
Yeah, You're Not Down tacos.
Yeah.
And she even said it. She said it on the podcast. Yeah, she goes, my tacos are better than anybody's. They're different. I know how much time she puts into her business. So when we had those tacos, we were like, okay, this is the truth. This is the truth. So if you guys missed it and you guys did not get a chance to go, follow DJ Angie, follow You're Not Down. She's going to have it every single month. I think once a month. And I'm going to tell you right now, it sells out super fucking quick. Super quick. And I highly suggest, and this is me, I don't want to say I'm bougie, but I don't like to be in crowds of people. So get a table.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it to get a table, get a couple bottles, grab some friends. I think each table fits about 6 people. So you guys can split those bottles you buy between 6 people. The venue, I felt super safe. It was just good all the way around. It was a good first You're Not Down for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was another thing. I felt very safe at the venue, and I feel like that, I mean, again, speaks to the culture that, you know, she creates and that follows her. But I was like, yeah, I can leave my camera on the table.
Right. Yeah. You and Z were just leaving your cameras there. I mean, obviously I'm still watching it, but it wasn't like, I didn't feel like, oh God, I got to put it under a jacket or something because someone's going to take it. It was more like, I can leave it there. Like no one's going to take it. Security was super cool. Like I said, you guys, both events were cool. This summer is going to be great for us at Mixtape Talks because we're able to kind of expand now, do more, go to more things. I know, kind of talking in the future, we are going to the Monster Energy headquarters. They're going to give us a tour next week. We'll have some footage for you guys there.
Yep.
But also, we have a lot of people lined up. And shout out to Rain because they've been plugging us with some of your favorite athletes.
Yeah.
Even later on this week, we have fashion designers coming in, like big time fashion designers. We have, of course, your regular fitness athletes. We have entrepreneurs. We have a lot of people that are coming. So this summer is going to be big but busy.
Yeah.
Very, very. So I'm excited to share a lot of this stuff with you guys. For me, this is kind of full circle because I always knew, you know, for me, when I do new ventures, I don't think about like what the immediate return is going to be. I always go into business, and this is kind of a business, put my all into it. Mm-hmm. I take a lot of money out of my own pocket to do things because I know you only get one opportunity to make an impression. Mm-hmm. So like cameras, lights, you know what I mean? Your editing skills, like we've had conversations like this is like every single episode has to be quality. Mm-hmm. Right, we have to be consistent with it, and so like this new sponsorship with Rain, and again, Rain is sponsoring both of my gyms as well now. So now, shout out Self-Made, Chino Hills, and West Covina. We're both officially gyms sponsored by Rain. The podcast is sponsored by Rain. Meals by Mel sponsored by Rain, and it goes to what I always say: if you're in my circle, right, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure you're taken care of.
100%, and to that end, I gotta say how many times I've heard that from so many people that, you know, I've almost worked with in the past, where it's like, oh, hey, we're going to connect you with this, or work for exposure, and it never pans out. But I gotta say, being around you, being around Marissa, being around everyone here, when you guys say, oh, we're going to do something, you execute and it happens. And that's probably one of the coolest things I've gotten to see from, being behind the scenes here, is when, how true you guys are to your word, how hard you work, and how willing and dedicated you are to make something happen.
Yeah. I mean, I always tell people, man, your word and your word is all you have. People talk, it goes around. If you do someone bad, or you do something that's not ethical, it gets out there, and then it kind of tarnishes your reputation. But I mean, if you look, Meals by Mel, they've been rocking with me, so I made sure we got them a sponsorship as well with Rain. Both of my gyms, shout out to all my trainers at both locations. I told you guys, like, we're going to be working. I work a lot behind the scenes, a lot of stuff I don't put on Instagram until it's done. But this is something we've been working on since November last year.
Yeah, it's been happening for a while.
Right? November last year, meetings, going back and forth emails. And I don't want to get too much in the details of it, but there was another energy drink company that we were close to signing with. And again, having Zoom meetings, talking to them, kind of going over ideas. And so for us, for me, even you've been involved with this, Marissa, like Meals by Mel, like we've been working behind the scenes on this forever. And this podcast that we have, I didn't come into it thinking like, oh, I want to make money off this. This isn't my living, you guys. The gym is my living. This is just something that's fun. I love learning from different people from every aspects of business. I love, interacting with you guys. I feel like I learn something every day. So for me moving forward, I don't want this podcast to ever just be like, oh, it's all clickbait stuff, meaning like, so tell me a motivational quote or something. I want it to be organic. I want it to be authentic. If we do get those clips out of it, great. If we don't, I'm 100% okay with that, because I want to introduce you guys to a multitude of people, from fitness industry, again, to fashion, to business, to whatever it is. I want to take you guys inside the Rain headquarters. I don't know how many of you guys have been to Monster headquarters. I've never been. So I want to take you guys there. I want you guys to come along with us on this journey. It wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for you guys, like sharing our content, reposting our content, our guests. Thank you guys so much for like always doing the collab posts with us. Shout out to them. We had one that we shout out about Coachella, and that one I opened the Instagram and I was like, what are all these comments? People were just going crazy, but everybody was sharing it. So it's attributed to the community that we're trying to build here. We want to take you guys along with the ride, and this Rain sponsorship, toast, wouldn't be possible without all of you guys. Rainstorm is the new energy drink that Rain's coming out with. It's more organic, it's cleaner, less actual caffeine than like a big thing of Rain. I actually prefer both. But for me, I would say Rainstorm is like quicker on the go, but I do love the taste of just regular Rain. But if you guys have to get one, the peach one is my favorite. And so we'll be doing giveaways, you guys. We'll be doing giveaways with cases, because Rain definitely took care of us. I mean, we walked into the studio and there was like 15 cases of Rain here, Rainstorm. So we're going to be doing like we want everyone to try it. So at both locations, the gyms, we're going to be doing like events. We're planning an event in June at the West Covina gym. We're going to do that with Rain. We're going to do that with a couple other companies. But I want you guys to really like try this drink. So on the podcast, we're going to be doing like raffles and stuff like that, just to get this in your guys' hands, because it is quality. It's a quality energy drink, and I love energy drinks. So on that note, thank you to everyone that's been listening.
Yes.
Stay tuned for some future bangers, you guys. I mean, we got some stuff coming. I don't want to say anything until it's done, but we have more stuff coming, and I can't wait for you guys to be a part of it. So until next time, peace out, you guys.